Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 11 of Direwolf20's FortressCraft Evolve series. I'm just sitting here processing some ores. That's all I've been working on. Just been letting ores process for a little bit, make sure I collect a nice backlog of them. You can see I've got a decent amount now of pretty much all three types of ores, which is good, except iron, which I just completed research that used a bunch of iron. Crystal Dynamics. Let's take a look at Crystal Dynamics. Let's see, is it still available listed in here? Yeah, it is. Cool. So Crystal Dynamics was 55 intermediate experimental pods. So, like, keeping in mind that it's 70 iron per 50, or per 10, I mean. So that's 350 iron, give or take. You know, a little bit more because it's 55 instead of 50, but, you know, figure about 400 iron and I was good to go. So that was a lot of iron, but I got Crystal Dynamics. Unfortunately, the bad news of Crystal Dynamics is it's not a super exciting research. I think it just gives you access to the advanced machine block, and that's pretty much it. So not what I would call like let's celebrate type of thing, but it does give you access to a new project that is pretty cool and useful. But I think I need to do a couple things before I actually get that unlocked. But it is going to give us access to something in the future. So, but I think that's pretty much all it unlocks. I think all these other blocks we've had. The next thing I want to work towards, though, I think, for research, either cryogenics research or advanced power grid. Which one of these two? They're pretty much the same in terms, except one uses complex and one uses ultimate. But basic and simplified, we're going to need a lot of copper and tin for this. Which one do I want to go on? Advanced Power Grid will give me more options for power generation, storage, and transfer, which would be cool. And cryogenics research lets me do stuff with some of the ruined animal parts that I've been getting. You might also note that I've got a hopper up here that has 7 items in it. Nice. I was collecting a bunch of these ruined parts by hand. I just recently had an attack where they were coming this way. So I dropped a hopper there so that while I was off doing things, it would collect any ruined parts that dropped on the ground while I was, you know, not nearby. Because I want to collect those because I don't know how many of them I'm going to need, but I suspect quite a decent amount. So I'm probably going to want a lot more copper and tin. Iron and lithium, obviously, we're doing pretty much as good as we can right now, short of running another line of speedy conveyors up, which I might even want to do. I might actually, I don't know, we'll see. I'll consider something. But what I think I want to do right now is speed up the copper and tin income that we've got and maybe consider rearranging some of the mess that we've got over here right by my CPH. Maybe, how do we want to do this? So it's going to be a little bit tricky. So we've obviously got this nice copper and tin line right here. I might want to replace these with fast conveyor belts. And let's get started on that research project because I want to have that running kind of in the background here. So let's go ahead and do the advanced power grid. Yeah, we'll start that off. It should have a couple things in here, but I'm going to make sure that it starts working on, let's go with tin for now, because that's what I have more of. So 10 and 60. By the way, I added there's now 3 stamper plants on here, so that this just stamps out stuff. Your research pod assembler is always going to be the slowest part of this system, so even, you know, speeding up or leaving the stamper as just 1 isn't really going to make the overall system be a little bit faster, but I like it just because it frees up inventory slots a little bit quicker, so that I can quickly throw another set of tin in there. So once this gets down to 40 slots used, progression, you've smelted 15,000 ingots. Nice. That's a lot of ingots. Once this gets down to 60 free slots or 40 in use, which should be in about a second or two here, I can throw another set of tin in, and then I can kind of just leave this system alone for a while and come back. 6 and 1 more set of 10 there, and you know, it should have knocked out a good chunk of the simplified experimental pods, and it's obviously working on basics because it had a backlog in this hopper here. So there's probably a few things in there that it's going to work on and clear out. So let's speed up copper and tin production. Does that sound like a cool plan to anybody except me? I definitely think that would be good. So what do I have? Oh good, another attack's happening too. Nice. Let's give ourselves another set of conveyor belts, which won't be too expensive because soon we're going to have more and more copper and tin coming in. And I've still got that upgrade thing. There it is. This is no icon, huh? This is spoiled organic remains. Oh, they're spoiling. Nice. Alright, I think that's why I need some cryogenics research. If I put them in here, do they not spoil? That's possible. I don't know for sure, but I can cross my fingers. Is there any other organic remains that I might want to store? That looks good. We've got some pristine hard chitin. Nice. That's good. Alright, I think that's pretty much all of it. That I'm not seeing much else here. But here's my auto upgrader. That's what I wanted. I also made a solar panel just to check it out. They're cool. Solar panel, you can see right here. Currently it's got some power coming in. It has a max, like, peak power creation of 22.5 power per second. So a little bit more than double what a generator would be, which is I think 10. But it only works during the daytime. So, you know, and as it's becoming daytime, this is kind of ramping up here. So that's the solar panel up there. Right now it's operating at 5 power per second. It'll speed up as the daytime progresses. So yes, let's first map out how we're going to do this. So right now I've got these power plants here. Let's see. Give me a minute to come up with a plan here, because clearly this is my tier 2 production line for stuff. I might want to change up how things work, or I might want them to be similar. We'll be right back. Alright guys, so I decided I was going to expand this area, so I laid down a bunch of snow right around here, and I would like to, let's see if I can manage to do this, right? Like, let's see. I've got this nice outcrop of stone over here, and I've got a bunch in my inventory that I can use. If I do this right, I should be able to control click here, and then here. I think there's a zoom as well. I can hold Z and zoom in. Yeah. Check that awesomeness out. So I could rearrange my copper line so that copper comes along this path, and that might not be terrible. In fact, let's do it to here. Yeah, look at that. Nice, right? So that was actually very awesome. Let's see. So if I wanted copper to come along here, it would just be a simple matter of laying out more of these dudes. And maybe I should do these as, you know what, since I'm going to be laying them out manually anyway for this line, I might as well do them with the top tier ones, and then I can just replace, I can either use the auto upgrader or the manual method of doing things. But for now, I would like to get copper and tin to be a little bit faster in terms of income. There we go. That looks good. Alright guys, so for copper and tin, and then eventually lithium and iron, I'd like to do this for too, and then eventually, the tier 2 ores, I'd like to have 1 smelter per ore. So this is going to significantly increase the amount of ore or an iron that we're processing per time frame, right? So if I had something like this, right, and then another line coming in for, let's say, here to here. That looks good, right? What I'm thinking is eventually have it something like this. That ought to be cool. Nice. Dude, I love that build gun. Have you noticed I like the build gun a lot? Like, I have so much fun with it. Cool. And then we will set these guys to remove only. Cool. So they can only remove from each other. Then we'll have smelters, and then we'll have storage hoppers set to add only, right? So the only thing they can do is put items in from adjacent machines, and these will be the 2 smelters responsible for tin and copper. So that should be nice. Now, tin's coming up where exactly? Here? Okay. So I should be able to pretty easily rearrange that. Let's see, how might I want this to operate? If I did to here, right? And then like that. Does that seem reasonable? So we really just need to have to move it up 1, and that should be cool. So let's do that with these. So we'll make sure that this is facing upwards, and we'll try our new trick. Right, to here. And then this can go this way. Nice. soon we will have a huge amount of copper and tin income. All right, so that's looking pretty good, right? So that should all come up that path. And then all we really need to do is come down here. What I'm going to do is cut this line off here. Actually, I'll cut it off here. So it'll probably wind up going like that. So the rest of that can process, and I'll catch those up later. And then let's get our... I'm going to need more of the tier 2 conveyors. So let's craft a handful of them. Uses a lot of copper and tin, but that's what we're about to really increase our production of, so not too worried. So we can come over here. We're going to set up our... We'll just do it right here. How's that sound? So we'll have this guy set up like this. Make sure he's facing the right way. I'm pretty sure that's it. And if we just put some basic conveyors like this. And then give him a hopper with a bunch of stuff. There he goes. Nice. See? Upgrading it all. Beautiful. And then we push this guy this way, and I'm going to hold off until I'm actually ready to do this, but I'll kick these off in a moment here. And then hopefully we'll have a good indication of whether or not things are working properly. So I can remove these guys, and I'm going to go do a similar setup over at our copper line, right? So this will come down here, it'll go like that, and everybody will cruise. That looks good, right? How are we for our tin vein, by the way? We still got a decent amount of ore in there. Did I ever put the... I'll put one of these steel cutter heads in there. I made a bunch of them last episode. They're definitely all down in my tier 2 ores and my coal. So you can see, by the way, they do have a usage, right? So they have about 10,000 ores is when they'll run out. So you'll have to replace them every now and then. But they're actually pretty cheap if you remember, so it's not the end of the world. So I'll hook this up in a moment. Let's go do the same thing. What are the chances that I can grapple my way up here? Oh, so close. I almost made it. It's okay. I'll run. I just had to try. So this line of copper is going to be rerouted to here. In fact, I can probably just do this manually. Does that work? Nice. So the copper is going to come up here and do its thing. Let's get the tin going as well now, I guess. I'll clear out this path in a moment. So tin, you can start working your way up. With a guy there. That looked cool. Awesome. So copper and tin all should be making their way up here pretty quickly. Beautiful. And I'm going to snag the smelter that was responsible for this. I'm going to make one more. So you can come with me. And I probably don't need this, this, or this anymore here. So overall, just cleaning up a bit. These are just remnants of copper and stuff that are working their way back. That's all right. And we'll put another smeltery. So we should have the resources definitely to make an ore smelter. And another tier 2 induction, right? So these can just go here. Now all they really need is power. So that should be fine. To get power, I'm going to put underneath 2 of these guys. And I should have coal nearby. Yep, right here. So I should easily be able to reroute some coal over here for that. Just debating exactly how I want to lay it out. Or we could, we've got 2 coal generators here. How would we feel about laser beaming it over there? That should be pretty straightforward to do, right? Because we've got 2 generators, and this thing doesn't use as much as this generator powers. So if we had this here, to say here, and I'll just give it a little bit of a starting boot up. That should be sufficient to keep things running. Is that cool? Actually, probably should have had that 1 deeper, but we'll be alright. I can just leave that there. It looks cool. Alright, so these guys are nice. So we're only using a little bit of power here, not a huge amount. That works for me. So now all we need to do is speed up our tin and copper processing, because, believe it or not, it's too slow now. So all we need to do is come over here. You can come out. Well, oh good, I got a 16x in there. I think I made a couple of those. Do I have another 16x? I do. Nice. I had made a couple of these earlier and put them in my tier 2 drill area. And I think I made a couple extras, which was very fortuitous. So now I can go upgrade the 2 basics that I have into enhanced as well. So I'll carry around a couple enhanced with me. So that'll just make them process a little bit faster. And we should be really good now. So we'll upgrade these to enhanced. Oh, I need more iron.
Crafting.
Works for me. Cool. All right. So we should have a serious amount of copper and tin coming in now. I know it doesn't look exactly that way, but trust me when I say that's the case. So this guy's going to get a bunch of power as well. And I'm hoping that this laser is enough to keep this thing running. If it's not for some reason, I'll throw some generators over here. But we'll keep an eye on it, and I'm pretty sure it should be okay. So he's gaining power. That's good. These things just need to heat up. And once they're heat up, they should be pretty darn good. Yeah. See, now they're using like maybe 10, a little less than 10. So I should probably have a more advanced laser going here. We'll see. See, now it says it's using like 3. So I think it uses like a burst of power. Definitely does seem to be draining though, doesn't it? Yeah, that might be a little bit of a struggle. This guy's got plenty. Maybe it's time to take a look at our first tier 2 laser. It's a little bit of overkill though, so I hesitate to use it because they are expensive. Alright, let's not do the laser thing. I really want to save my tier 2 ores at the moment. So let's go find where our coal's coming up. Okay. So what if I did that, made this a turntable, and we had a basic hopper with 2 generators here. 2 generators should be more than enough, and then hopefully we could eventually expand this out. So let's just make one more power gen.
Crafting.
And I'll tidy up this hole in a minute here. That should be good. Nice. This is coming up. So we'll have the generators here and here. With the hopper here. And just basic lines to that. We'll get it started with that. Looks good. And then these things should start processing. So we've got a backlog of copper and tin to process here, but you can see we've got like a big amount coming up, so that's good. All right. So that guy should be all right. And we'll give this thing a kickstart of power just to help it out. But overall, the 2 generators should be more than enough to handle the ore smelters here. All right, so let's let that run for a few minutes, and then we will come back and see how our ore operations are doing. All right, guys, so as you can see, I just collected 100 tin and copper each. And oh, look, there's another 80, 90 backlogged in there. So these things are cruising. I mean, they are doing a great job. Tin and copper are both pretty much keeping up with the smelters, and we've got a large income coming in. So I'm quite pleased, as you can see. Tons of tin and copper coming in. That's pretty good. What else do we got going on here? Are you empty now? This thing's cruising with iron and lithium. I wouldn't mind iron being a little bit faster. What I'm thinking is I could... Like, I have a ton of lithium right now. I know we're going to need a lot of that stuff too, but I could really use more iron. So what I could do is maybe route it so that iron comes up to a system like this as well, and lithium goes over to here. Or maybe I could just speed up the amount of lithium or iron that we're getting. I don't know. So the way I could speed up iron, obviously, would be something like this. If we popped down to our iron system. So right now we have a very small amount of iron and lithium coming up at a time. But that's by design from how we had it before, but I might want to speed up iron and keep lithium slow for now. The only way to have both of these be really fast is to build a second conveyor system that goes all the way up. And I'm like, meh on doing that. But what I could do is speed this guy up. So even with a 16x motor, we're not constantly sending ores up. So with a system like this, we should be pretty good, right? So this thing's empty now. So this thing will mine out 16 in a moment. Let's see, how much time do you have left to do that? Just now he did it, cool. So he's gonna dump out all 16, they're in the iron hopper, right? So just as fast as that is, lithium's still gonna be able to sneak its way in every now and then. So we'll still be getting lithium, but we'll be getting more iron. And basically I'm gonna keep an eye on seeing if we have a backlog on it. But this should at least speed up, so that minor change to our structure sped up significantly how much iron we're going to get, because we'll get, 16 or so at a time now. Plus, we've got the speed of conveyors to help us out with that. So we should be doing really good on our tier 1 ores. Let's pop up here and see how our research system's doing. You can also see I'm trying to come up with a good power gen system. I haven't entirely figured out what I want to do, but I've been working on it. So I'm working on the blue experimental pods, which are titanium. So let's see, I'm going to throw another set of 10 in here because we should be ready for them. This is down to 0. Cool, and that'll process. Good deal. All right, yeah, I'm trying to work out a good power system. There's a lot of different ways to handle power generation and transfer, right? We've now obviously got access to the, tier 2 power transmitters, but they're a little expensive, as we discovered. If we look at the thing right here, the tier 2 power transmitters, 32 nickel and titanium each. Not great. Would prefer it to be a little bit cheaper, but that's all right. Can't make it too easy on us, can you? So tons of nickel and tin and copper coming in there. That's good, and we should have a pretty significant amount of iron coming up here. So you should see this thing is definitely running at pretty close to full blast all the time. Every now and then there'll be a gap in iron while it's still mining, just like we have a gap here in our copper, right? So that looks good, and we'll just keep an eye on this hopper and see if he starts to overflow or not. So far, he looks like he's keeping up with the demand. Nice. All right, let me just clean up my base a little bit, and we'll come right back. So guys, I've been just doing a little bit of math here, and it looks to me like these conveyors take about 1 second per one item to transfer the tier 2s, right? So like 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, 4 1000, 5 1000. They're going about a second per item. And we have a decent amount of empty space on this, right? So if it takes about 1 second per item, then it transfers 60 items in 60 seconds, right? I think that's right. Now let me just double check what my mining drills are doing down here. Because it actually occurs to me I might be able to pull this off. These guys, 32 ore per minute. Cool. So 2 of these are producing 64 ore per minute, or it goes per 30 seconds, so it's 16 per 30 seconds. So 64 ore per minute, and we can transfer 60 ore per minute. So we'll have a little bit of backlogging down here, but it'll mean that this line will always be active. I kind of like that. So let's do that, shall we? Let's pop down here. I don't think we have any slopes on this line. So I should be able to pretty quickly upgrade these, which we're going to try. So let's put one of these here, one of these here. You should get a bunch of power, and then we're going to put a hopper with the upgrade stuff in it. Rotate that guy into place, and he should start cruising. Nice. So that actually might work out pretty well. Just collect all the lithium that fell on the ground as a result of that real quick. Cool. I like this. All right. So now what we can do, since this guy is all nice and high speed, we should pretty soon start having a decent amount of lithium coming up. And I can upgrade this guy to do 16 lithium. Yeah, I like this plan. Alright, so remove this, remove this, remove this. No longer any of these needed. This guy gets the upgraded drill. I don't have another upgraded one on me. Stupid direwolf. Alright, I'm going to put one in there. And that'll get me 16 per 30 seconds, right? So 32 a minute. So we'll have a little bit of backstuffing, but it should be fine, I think. And that might be awesome. So what I can do then is come up here and have dedicated smelters again. And my laser will take care of that minoc we just saw. So I think I'm going to expand the smelting system and try and get all 4 T1 ores smelting on their own line by the end of this episode, which is rapidly approaching, I think, but we'll get there. So let's make that upgraded tier 2 drill. Where's my drilling stuff? Enhanced drill, go. And let's come over here and prepare. So we've already got 1 smelter here, so we're going to want 1 more smelter.
Crafting.
With another
Crafting.
tier 2 induction.
Crafting.
Cool. So I just need to figure out how I'm going to do the power for that then, because I'm going to rearrange the power a little bit just to make sure that we've got enough generators going. I'm thinking 3 would probably be enough. We might want a 4th, but we'll see.
Crafting. Crafting. Crafting.
Let me just make a few of these because I know we're going to want a few.
Crafting.
And I want to rearrange how this works. So I'm going to move this actually to hide it underground all the way. So if I were to put a downward slope like this, you should be able to do that, right? Can you downward slope like that? Nice. That's what I wanted to see. Okay, cool. So then we'll put these guys here. I know you guys are power hungry. Goodness. So if I wanted 3 generators working on this thing, what I could have is, as a real quick test, something like a generator. Well, we're going to want another, so let's say iron and lithium here, right, with these guys like that. So we're going to want this to be very clear how this works out. So let's do a generator here, here. We'll have our storage guy here. And then one more generator spot would be ideal. What I could probably have is a generator, maybe. I could probably have it in front here. But I want it kind of touching one of these laser guys. Well, let's put a generator here with a laser beam going like that. That should work, right? Nope, because that's where the conveyor needs to be. Wow, Direwolf, that was stupid. Derp, McDerp. Alright, so let's try. I guess the best place to really have it then would be, I guess here. Let's do it here. And you know what I'll do? Is I'll put the generator here with another power storage guy here. That way they'll kind of all share. Right, so that should be sufficient in terms of power generation. And if it becomes a problem, we'll find out pretty quickly. Cool, so that should work. So then we're going to want our hoppers in place, and we're going to check out a new block, I think, right now. So we'll do our hoppers here and here, here and here. I'm going to go snag these guys. Don't really need this anymore. I told you I'd be cleaning this area up eventually. Nice, right? Don't really need any of this, to be honest with you. That will leave for the time being. And then we'll have our smelters. 1, 2. 1, 2. And this is going to be for iron and lithium. So let's check out how we can manage to get. What I think I'm going to want is probably another line like this for iron and lithium. But we need to split these. And that's something we really haven't seen how to do, which is why we're going to look at a new block today. This and that. Cool. So we'll probably want to have a buffer hopper. And I'm going to create over here a new block, which is going to be responsible for doing what I want to do, which is the advanced conveyor filter. 10 fortified PCBs and crystal deposits. All right, maybe we're not going to see that today. Fortified PCBs, no problem. Crystal deposits, not much of a problem, but soon. So let's do this. For now, to get things going, I'm going to have this guy coming up here. So this is my iron and lithium line, right? So we will instead have it come up here to here. We will eventually split these in a better and more intelligent manner, but for now, this will work. Need a few more of the advanced conveyors.
Crafting.
Getting low on tin, but that won't be a problem for long. So what I'll do then is ramp up. We will have this guy here, and then we'll do this. Okay, sorry about that. Right back now. So this should be. Oh, this needs to be set to add only. Add only. Cool. So these guys are all add onlys. Otherwise, they might share inventory. That's why there was some tin in this one. And these should be set to remove only. Get the tin ore out of there. So this is tin, this is copper. Actually, let me hang on to a bit. I like to have a little bit of each ore type in my inventory as needed. And then it's just a simple matter of... Nice. So this should take turns. Let's see what it does. So I just want to clear these out so that... What I'm thinking we'll see is that it will take turns, but every now and then it might put one in the wrong slot, because remember, it does about 60 items a second. So see how we just got a couple copper in a row there? Or a couple iron, I'm sorry. Yeah, so what's going to happen is every now and then we're going to get a little bit more iron than we are lithium, because we're producing a little bit more iron than we are lithium, because that's the first one on the line. I think that's what we're going to see happening here. So, I mean, we'll just kind of keep an eye on it. It should be fine. But for the most part, this is definitely more efficient than what we would have had otherwise, because this line is going to pretty much be full all the time. And really, we could even speed up our copper and tin lines later, but for now, this is good. So let me clear out this line, because he's really not needed anymore. Nice. And that really helps to clean up our base. Beautiful, right? I like it. So we've got a big, obvious container of probably a lot of iron and lithium right there hanging out. This all can be cleared out, so we can clear actually a lot of space away. But for now, I think we'll just leave things as they are. Probably tidy up a little bit later. But for this guy, I'm sure we could do something like this, this, and this. And then probably over to here, tidy it up. Nice, right? We'll make sure. I don't know if you need this block removed or not. I think it'll continue to run, but it's all good. So that's cool, right? So we should have like a really good amount of copper and tin income, as well as iron and lithium. And we can even check out with our hollow base, like, so you can see we've got some backstuffed copper here. That's fine. That's what we would want to see. You can see at the top the amount of ores, the amount of bars, how many bars per minute we're getting. So it looks like 112 ore per minute being mined, which makes pretty good sense, right? And we can see also the number of bars, 37 bars per minute. So that's pretty darn good. Total power generation, power per second. The hollow base is definitely nice. And these guys all have plenty of power stored up, so that tells me that the 3 generators are doing plenty to keep this thing running. Nice. I'm very, very pleased. So, I think that's cool, right? Yeah, that definitely is cool. So I think we're pretty much about ready to wrap up this episode. I'm just going to go take a peek over here and see where we're at. Need 5 more ultimates and a few more simple and copper ones. So let's get the copper ones knocked out. So we'll come back next time and hopefully have this research ready to roll and check out some more stuff. I want to look at better methods of power generation and storage, because right now it's kind of all over the place, but I think I can come up with a better system. This is kind of what I was doing here. I was trying to work on a bit of a better power storage and generation system. There's a few different ideas on how you can like maximize the amount of power per, you know, blocks that you place and stuff, and I'm just kind of tweaking that a little bit and trying to figure it out. But for now, wrapping up point. So Direwolf20 signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We will come back next time with lots more fun stuff. Take it easy.